Hi, and welcome to another episode with Earth Angel Sanctuary and Learning Center. I am your host, Erin, and we are going to go over our lesson plan for the month of February. But before I do, I always like to extend my gratitude and appreciation for checking in any of our episodes, our website, Twitter, or Facebook. If you would like to contact me, you can always post a comment to this video, or you can contact me personally at www.earthangelsnetwork.net or email me at earthangelslv@gmail.com. So we will go over now our lesson plan. So for the month of February, we did Ambulance for Earth Angels, which is basically EFT, known as the Emotional Freedom Technique. And we have our guest speaker, who is Dr. Lynn Zimmerman, who is the author of Heal Yourself. Fantastic lady, and we're going to go over her interview next. Why we call it the ambulance, what is the ambulance, and who can use EFT, where you can use EFT, and how to use EFT. Well, we'll go over an exercise and technique specifically for you, and then wrap up in our conclusion and introduce our topic for next month. So here's our interview with Dr. Lynn Zimmerman. Go ahead and click on the button below to hear the recording of Dr. Z and me, and go ahead and pause our interview as well. A little bit about Dr. Z. She studied human biology at the University of Minnesota and earned a professional degree in chiropractic from Texas Chiropractic College in Houston, where she studied orthopedics and neurology and graduated with honors. She completed postgraduate work in hypnotherapy and medical hypnosis at the Center for Hypnotherapy at Oakland, California. She practiced physical medicine for 9 years before transitioning to energy medicine. You can buy her fabulous book, which I highly recommend, since many of you know my background is in science, where she brings science and energy medicine together in her book called Heal Yourself, or you can contact her at www.myenergymedicine.com. So please go ahead and pause this frame and listen to her excellent recording.
Compassion was my primary receptor. I viewed the world through the lens of empathy for society's underdogs. I felt horrified by human indifference to animals and stunned at the emotional pain people inflicted on each other. I felt and still feel the emotional states of other people and animals. It doesn't matter if they're expressing it verbally or with body language. I feel it even if I'm near them.
How did and do you feel about your abilities?
When I was young, I just wanted to be like everyone else. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be a part of a tribe, any tribe. But oddly enough, I didn't connect my seeing and feeling things so acutely as the thing that set me apart. I thought the people around me just didn't show what they were feeling. It wasn't until much later that I realized that many people just don't feel what we feel. They don't, and they'd rather not. It made me feel like a freak for a while, very alone and isolated for many years. A few years ago, when I realized that clients were getting unprecedented results from my working with them, I began to understand that a huge part of this healing and transformation is my intuitive empathy around other people's emotions. The intuitive part of me connects with the emotions people are experiencing and their feelings that often they can't articulate. So it gives me the right questions to ask so that I can create unique phrases of profound meaning for a specific person and their pain. When we're using EFT, the exact phrases that mean something to that person are different from the phrases that would mean something to someone else. And expressing their actual feelings with the right words is what helps them to really connect with it and to have this benefit and actually to transform with EFT. When we're hitting these phrases correctly, they resonate so deeply. When we're tapping together, they can actually feel the energy rippling through their body. Also, I do my work by phone. Many of the people I work with have never met me. They live far away. But because of my connection with them, my intuitive connection, I can feel it when they get into alpha brainwaves. Slower brainwaves that give them deep insight into previously insoluble problems. In this accessed brain state, we can process distressing events from the past and also create powerful new neural pathways that will allow and support the thriving that is wished for by that person. It is immensely uplifting and so inspiring, I can't begin to describe it, to be a part of this kind of transformation. Sometimes I experience other people's painful feelings so deeply, I feel that I must be dying. But it is the same trait that has given me the ability to be of service in another's hour of dire need. I had a client who I worked with for the first time just last week, and at the end of the session, she had tears in her voice, and she said, "You are exactly what I've been looking for." She's done so many self-help things for like 30 or 40 years, and she said, and all of those things helped her. All of those things helped her to get where she is now. And this is giving her now what she can do to actually take all the things she's learned and create a new brain map with it so that she can actually bring all of this into her life, into her body, into her emotions, into her relationships, which is what she's looking for. So I was so thrilled. It's when that kind of thing happens, I feel like my heart is dancing for hours and hours afterwards. It's just the most wonderful thing. So I'm very appreciative of that amazing part of this gift.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what I like about your work, is that you also break down the biology and the intuitive ability into the sense. So it's very emotional. It connects to the spirit, mind, body, all of our bodies into one session. I really like that, and I really admire your work.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes. So what are the basic steps to developing your intuitive abilities?
Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. This is something that I think is really important. There are a lot of things that we can do to develop our intuitive abilities, and everyone has their own excellent suggestions. The one that I have found that is most important for a lot of us is it's easy to forget how much we know at a deep level. We just forget how much is there already. So when you feel a deep intuitive hunch, go with it. Sometimes we're wrong. But when we don't go with a strong intuitive feeling, we almost always realize it would have served us, helped us, or made something easier if we had gone with our gut feeling. And forgive yourself when you're wrong. You know, we're human. We have incredible, amazing potential and power to do great things. Acts of kindness, compassion, generosity, friendship, support, healing, love. We are so wonderful. And we also make mistakes as humans. This is all part of being human. So forgive yourself and hug yourself anyway. You are a magnificent work in progress. This is a new phrase that I really love. Magnificent work in progress. We all are. And forgive yourself. That's part of being that magnificent work.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. List an important daily maintenance or routine to stay connected and in tune with your spirit team.
I spend at least 2 hours because that's what I have to have at a minimum every morning. In the days when I can, I spend 4 hours because it does me so much good. But a minimum of 2 hours connecting with thoughts that make me feel good, with high vibration emotions, and with beings of light. And to do that, I listen to videos, and I read, and I write. Writing connects me to the strongest part of my inner self. When I experience doubt or stress, or I experience feelings of loss or sadness, I write and I tap. And I read the wisdom of the writers and speakers who resonate with me the most. There are so many of these inspiring people, different writers, speakers, poets, singers, and they all resonate for each one of us for different reasons. Find the people who most inspire you and connect with their wisdom often. When I was writing Heal Yourself, every night before I went to bed, I would read Winston Churchill's most inspiring speeches. He was a person who suffered from Great Depression, and he was rejected by everyone he knew who was politically connected. He was a political pariah for years, but he kept going, and because of that, he inspired his country during their darkest hours. He kept on going, and so I would read his inspiring speeches. One of the things he said that I remember is, "We shall draw from the heart of suffering itself the means for inspiration and survival." What this tells us is that in the heart of every traumatic thing that happens to us, everything large and small, everything that affects us in any way, if it's a tiny thing, an irritation, or if it's a huge trauma in our lives and we feel like we're never going to feel good again. Inside every one of those traumas are the seeds of healing. That's what that means. In the heart of suffering itself, we find the means for inspiration. So that's one of the things I got from him. I would read his quotes every night, and every morning I would read something from Wayne Dyer's Power of Intention. I would read that stuff, and I read it again and again and again. The studies on brain plasticity tell us that what works the best, what actually makes the brain grow new connections and keep them and integrate what you're learning, actually grow a bigger, stronger, sharper brain, is repetition and paying attention. So if that is any indicator, in like 10 years, I'm going to have the most amazing, huge, dense brain you ever saw. I mean, so those are some of the things I do. And also, in the morning, I read and I listen and I write. At night, when I go to sleep, I put the iPad near my night table and I set it on a recording that's just for a few minutes, like 10 or 15 minutes, and then it goes off. And I go to sleep hearing that inspiring and reinforcing message. We need to be reinforced all the time because there are plenty of things around us that kind of suck out all of our energy and our feeling good. There's going to be stuff like that all the time. But the more reinforcement we have that's good from everything that will draw in all of the support that's all around us, all of the energy beings that we call on, whoever they are, the more we have of that, the more we are our true selves. That's who we're really meant to be. That's who we're aligned with. And when we are aligned with that, we've got what we need. So morning and night, that's my formula, but everyone will find their own. I strongly, strongly urge you, practice it. Give yourself as much as you can. You're being kind to yourself then. You know? Yeah.
Well, two things I want to add to that is, one, when you're talking about Winston Churchill and what you do, I was getting goosebumps. So yes, that totally resonates with me. But when you're going through this question here, what is really interesting is our previous class that we just had a couple weeks ago was raising your vibration. And these are all the things that you listed in here, like writing, feeling, reading, videos, whatever resonates with you to raise that vibration. And these are some of those techniques that we did in class. So I think this just reinforces and builds on top of our other classes and gives more tools and more validation for the children out there and any families out there that keep using our resources. Keep tapping in, keep practicing. You're right. You can't let it go. You got to keep practicing and find what works for you because everybody has their own. And the thing is, don't give up. Just keep going and keep getting to that place where you need your vibration high, where you're happy and you're feeling good about yourself. So I love that. Thank you.
One more thing I'd like to add is that when you were saying about getting to that place where you're feeling good and keep on going no matter what, every healing path has ups and downs and ups and downs, and that we have this our whole lives. In my first practice, which was physical medicine, and people had such terrible injuries, I would tell them when they would start out, because some people would come in and a friend had to be holding them on either side because they couldn't walk to just get in. They were in so much pain. And as we started, and I tell people this the same now when I'm starting them on the transformation path, you will have ups and downs. I've never seen anyone have a life where every single day was better and better and better and better than the next. I've never seen that in my whole life ever. I hear it. People talk about it a lot when they are doing something that they feel is very inspiring, but I've never seen it in real life. And what I need people to know is that the ups and downs are part of the norm, and you'll be going up again. What I would tell people in physical therapy was that you're going to have some days when you feel better, and then you're going to have days when you feel worse than ever, and you think, this isn't working. I'm not going to do this anymore. This is a crock. But then if you keep on going, you will again have some more days when you feel better. You'll gradually have more and more days when you feel better and fewer when you feel awful. When I was in physical medicine, I didn't know the meaning of that. After I just knew that it happened, and I wanted them to be prepared so they could know it's going to get better even if I feel horrible now. Now, after 10 years of research in brain plasticity, we know that when we have a bad day, we feel like it's the 2 steps back day, after a step forward, our brain is actually reorganizing at a higher level. When you've had some great days and I am on point, this is wonderful, this stuff is working for me and I feel different and I know that I'm different and I'm getting different results. And then you have a terrible day or a day and you think, this is the worst I've ever felt. This is worse, this is as bad as it's ever been. Your brain is reorganizing at a higher level. It has to integrate all the changes and healing and transformation and progress that you've made. It must integrate and use this as a platform for your next steps up. And the brain has to do this all the time. If we are continually expanding, becoming more of who we want to be, who we know we can be, and maybe even who we didn't know we could be, someone even more than we thought, and we all are that. We're all so much more than we think, right? Your brain will continually, throughout your lifetime, be reorganizing periodically. And when it's doing that, you can go, oh, I feel so bad. But what I recommend then is doing some tapping. Dr. Z told me it would be this way, and it's going to get better.
Yes.
And it will. I promise you it will. And it's part of the process. Understand that that's part of it. It doesn't make you feel great, but you don't feel so crazy. Okay?
Yes. So thank you. Yes. And I love these because I actually do listen to all these guest speakers and writers too, to kind of lift up my spirits and get me in motivation and get my gears going. So I like that we have that commonality. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up here with our last question. Any advice to children as they go through life and school, being sensitive to the world around them as they merge their abilities and work with these heightened awarenesses?
It is hard to be the person who's different, right? We all know that. It is also a wonderful thing to be the person who's different, because you are bringing up the vibe of everyone around you. Okay, that's why these processes that Erin has taught you about are so important. Keeping up your vibe, and I would like you to remember this: there is light all around you. There are resources to help you raise up your own vibe. So many spirit helpers at any one moment, ready to assist you, to help you, to love you and encourage you. They love to do this for us. They love it. If you travel your path and communicate with your spirit team, your path will be a joint venture. It will be supported, it will be nurtured, and you will feel that support. Remember to call on that. We all need it. Remember to do that for yourself. They're all around you, and they can be a part of your path of light.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for today's interview. And again, thank you for our class. We listened to Dr. Lynn Zimmerman, who studied human biology at the University of Minnesota and earned a professional degree in chiropractic from Texas Chiropractic College in Houston, where she studied orthopedics and neurology and graduated with honors. She completed postgraduate work in hypnotherapy and medical hypnosis at the Center for Hypnotherapy at Oakland, California. Dr. Zimmerman practices physical medicine for 9 years before transitioning to energy medicine. Dr. Z is featured author in the www.cancerlinks.com, a website dedicated to uplifting cancer patients and survivors with healing information. To check that out, go to www.cancerlynx.com. And if you feel free to contact her and email her at drlynnzimmerman@gmail.com, drlynnzimmerman@gmail.com. And if you would like to check out her fantastic book, which I have read, please do so. It is called Heal Yourself. Can you buy that on Amazon or any resource?
Amazon, I believe, and barnesandnoble.com. Yes.
Wonderful. So check out her resource. Again, if you'd like to drop us an email, visit www.earthangelsnetwork.net or email me personally at earthangelslv@gmail.com, or you can, again, contact Dr. Z herself.
At Dr. Lynn Zimmerman, DrLynnEZimmerman@gmail. I'm here for you also. Contact me anytime.
So thank you again, and thank you for checking out our resource. And now on to the rest of our presentation.
So why do we need an ambulance? Well, the brain sends many messages to our emotional body every day. If you think of how many times we think about everything throughout the day, it's like a million gazillion times. So how our emotional body processes these feelings will affect our physical body. For example, if you're happy, your body will respond to happiness. Or if you feel sad, there will be a shift and you can feel where sadness feels in your body. So by using EFT, which we talked about is the emotional freedom technique, our ambulance, we can change the messages to our brain, thus changing our emotions and reality, which we talked about last month in raising your vibration. So what is the ambulance? Well, as many of us know, when we might be driving in the car, we hear the ambulance pass by, so we hear this loud noise, we're always pulling over. But what happens when it comes to you? Well, ambulance comes when you need it the most and you need it fast. It gives you relief and help until you can actually get to the hospital and get the deeper care that you need. So EFT, which is our emotional freedom technique, are acupoints along the body. But most of EFT is used around the face and the upper part of the body. These points are wired to our emotional body, so when we tap them, they send a response. Kind of like acupressure or acupuncture, the needle touches these meridian parts around our body. Even when we're experiencing massage, it releases the stress in the muscles. Same thing. So who can use EFT? Anyone. But let's put it specifically what happens when you're on the Earth Angel path. Typical feelings we might feel overwhelmed when everything just feels too much. We could feel sadness when something feels bad, or we feel powerless to change it. There can be stress from homework, parents, friends, stuff at school, or even stuff at home. And then there's worry and fear for someone else or even our personal self. A little facts about EFT and why it's so beneficial is it reduces stress, anxiety, and trauma. In fact, cortisol, which is known as the stress hormone, is reduced by 24% in one session. And that might not seem like a lot, but really in reality, when they broke it down in science, reducing just from one session, and one session literally takes a few minutes, by reducing cortisol 24%. Cortisol is known to contribute to weight gain, aging, cancer, and many other problems, even like kidney failure and stuff like that. So also EFT accesses the alpha brain waves in our body, which promote our immune system, our heart rhythm, and lower blood pressure. It also accesses a channel of deep healing where we open our creative center and we have this profound sense of our self-understanding, and we can solve our problem when we didn't have much clarity on it before. So very interesting stuff about EFT. You can always learn more about it. Just go ahead and Google it. And so where do you use EFT? Well, if you look at this diagram that she made, she breaks it down for us. So where the X's are is where you're going to start at the front of the brow. Then you're going to move to the side of the eye. You're going to go under the eye, that soft tissue there. Right under the nose, between the nose and the lip. Then you're going to hit your chin, the collarbone, the actual bone itself, under the arm, kind of like if you were going to do the monkey. And then you're going to do the top of the head, anywhere on the top of the head. Those are places that you would tap. So let's give you a more deeper example. Okay, so let's take this picture that Dr. Lynn has provided for us. So this is you, so you're going to look at your face, or you don't need to look at your face. You pretty much know the feel of it. So you want to find an issue that you would like to address, something about yourself, what we talked about before. It could be a fear or a worry, or maybe just something that gave you specifically that stress or worry. I want you to rate how you feel about that issue 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, 1 you're being at complete peace with it. Next, you're going to use your 1 or 2 fingers. You can use your first finger or the first and middle finger or just the middle finger, but you want to use fingers. And you're going to follow the chart by the start area, which is the front of the brow, by tapping very lightly on that tissue. And we're going to move around your face by saying a thought pattern, and we're going to move the negative thought pattern into a positive one. And this will probably take us about a few minutes, but you can see how you are. So I'm going to just give an example. You can again replace it with anything that you want, but I just want you to follow along with me. And then we can go through it again using your issue. So here we go. Let's say we went to school today and something happened with you and your friend, and you're feeling really sad about it. So this is how we're going to start. So I want you to place your first 2 fingers on the inside of your brow, and I will tell you when we move to each part. So here we go. Start tapping in the inside of the tissue. Even though I feel sad. And move to the outside of your eye. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Now move to the underneath the eye. Even though I am really sad about the events that happened with my friend, go underneath your nose, and it has brought up feelings of fear. Now move to your chin. I don't like how I feel being sad and fearful. Now move to the collarbone. I'm not even quite sure why I have these feelings here. Now go under the arm. And I know it really bothers me that I have these feelings because I don't want to lose my friend. Go to the top of the head. But I am willing to let it go. I need to let it go. And that's one session. So start again. So even though I feel this sadness and fear, now move to the outside of the eye. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Now the eye, underneath the eye. Even though I have all these feelings I feel about my friend. Again, move underneath your nose. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Now your chin. Even though I would never do this to my friend and give her these feelings of sadness or fear. Now move to your collarbone. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Now underneath your armpit, even though I am ready to let go of these feelings of fear and worry, the top of your head, I am ready to let it go because I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And that's round 2. And you can do round 3. So that just gives you an idea of what you can do. You always want to end that you can deeply and completely love and accept myself. You do not have to, but that gives it a good seal about how it always comes back to you and you taking the responsibility for yourself. Again, I would suggest that you check out her great book, Heal Yourself. She has so many interesting things about science and energy medicine, but she also gives examples and experiments on how to do some of this EFT work, emotional freedom technique. So I definitely check it out. And if you like this video or have any more questions, again, write me or page me at our Facebook or even our website. So thank you for checking in for a little quick video about EFT. You can learn more, but please, I ask that you join us next month with our guest speaker, Peggy Ashman, who is an animal communicator. And the topic will be, Can You Hear What I Hear? Where we will learn how to listen to our animals. We'll include discussion, opportunity to read an animal and write down any impressions. We'll also do a meditation for the universe, create prayer flags for all creatures or your individual pet to hang and bless the universe. We'll also do questions and answers. After that, later in the month, we will go down to Shark Reef Aquarium at Mandalay Bay and take our new techniques into the field so we can learn how to communicate with animals at a distance and through the water. Again, if you like our video, hit like. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave a question below or contact me at earthangelslv@gmail.com or visit our website at www.earthangelsnetwork.net. And I look forward to seeing you guys next month. Thank you.